let's see, where's the...
Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me just do this.
Don't do it. Don't, you son of a bitch.
Me again already? I'm super sorry.
Hey, did y'all see the new gameplay trailer for Armored Core 6?
I have not, but we can look for it.
I was watching some gameplay on that. Like,
It looks really
not
good.
that long ago. Oh, fuck, I gotta do that. Ooh, you guys give me 2 more minutes. I have to go do the thing. We'll be right back.
Gotta do the damn code every time that I log into Twitch now. Oh well. Let's see here.
Surprised you haven't moved the kick.
Do what?
Surprised you haven't moved the kick.
Oh, I think we're live on Kick too. Yeah, I think we're still on Kick.
The other day, my wife was like, "Have you ever thought about streaming?" And I'm like, "Well, kind of. What am I going to play? I don't play anything popular." And she's like, "You should do that." And I'm like, "What?" Do you want to play Valorant?
No, gross. Don't do that.
Because I was like, well, I wonder how many people play Dark Tag. It's like the game I play all the time. And I'm like, yeah, not a lot of people play this. Some people watch this. Used to be everybody watched that shit when it came out. I just wanted to watch people burn people up with flamethrowers.
Oh, sound by the way. Good. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever.
All right, let's see. I do believe that's good. And all right. All right, everybody good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let me turn everybody else up. All right. And here we go. And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Griffcast, episode 87, the Mature Nerdy Podcast for Immature People, the show where we talk about any and all things nerd. Nerd, from video games, comic books, movies, computer technology, and or science. Hello, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Griff Moore, and we are back from a 2-week hiatus. And as you can see, we're down one member. I do believe he is still currently floating around Florida somewhere. So if you bump into Wild out in Florida, tell him I said hi and get on the damn show. Anyway, just a little PSA before we get started. I do apologize that the next couple of months, probably not for at least a month, but from like August and September, show scheduling might be a little spotty due to bought a house and closed on it, and now we have to be landlords for a little while, and then we're going to completely remodel as much as we can afford to remodel before we move in. So once that's all done, we'll get everything moved over, get set back up, and we'll be running again. That, and hopefully my current health concerns aren't going to be too much of an issue on this, but we'll find out when we cross that bridge. In the meantime, let's go ahead and jump into it. How have you guys been?
Pretty good.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All right, so we got a nice little lineup here tonight. So we're going to go over just the major trailers from the showcase because we don't have time to go through the entire showcase. Not if,
in my opinion, almost everything was a major trailer.
oh, okay. Well, I found like a 15-minute video, I think.
It's only 15 minutes. Oh.
So it's probably like all the AAA announcements, you know, like Starfield and Fable and all that.
Straight bombs.
So, you know, if there becomes a want for us to go through the entire showcase, we'll do it. But for right now, like we wanted to talk over a couple of other issues or topics tonight. Issues, like they're affecting us, right? We'll go through wanted to go over a few other topics tonight, so we'll get down to that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it, I guess. Here, let me increase this and then come over here and come over here and all right. Oh, that was weird. All right.
Oh, you and your settings are having an argument again.
But are they not?
I feel like I should play the Jeopardy theme. It got so quiet.
They are taking their sweet time getting into it, huh?
Yeah. So while we wait, can I make a complaint about the Spider-Verse? Yeah, I'm gonna make it to you directly because you're the man I have to talk to about this. Why did they turn my boy Ben Riley into an Andy Samberg joke? Ben Riley, the blonde-haired Scarlet Spider's.
Yeah, Scarlet Spider. I figured you were talking about Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, they turned him into an Andy Samberg joke.
He was funny. He had a great role. What are you talking about? And Andy Samberg, he did a good job in the role. Andy Samberg was a voice. Yeah, he was.
That would kind of be like if you let somebody like, I don't know, Amy Waller-Bridge take over for Harrison Ford and something. I mean, you know, maybe it might sound good in paper.
Aren't you supposed to be watching this trailer?
I mean, in all honesty, shouldn't the guy who voiced Peter Parker have voiced him as well?
Yes.
I mean, since he is a clone of Peter Parker.
Yeah, and he shouldn't have been an
I mean,
emo
they didn't do
either.
that in the first movie, though.
That was kind of
Okay.
interesting, though. I thought it was really funny that they had Nicolas Cage as Noir Spider-Man. Like, that was...
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, so while this does look really good, am I the only person in existence that's not excited for this game?
Kind of looked a lot like No Man's Sky, but just maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, it's No Man's Sky with a little bit more plot. A lot more.
It has a plot.
1,000% more plot.
It has one.
I think what he meant to say is No Man's Sky with plot.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, so like it looks, I'll probably get it and I'll probably play it, but I'm not super excited for it. It's not my wheelhouse.
I fucking love space.
Well, then,
I won't-
so right there is a massive thing that is going to completely sell me on it. Is that it's on Game Pass, so I'll get to play it for my soon to be going up in price, $15 a month. So I'll be happy with that.
Because you pay for Ultimate.
Yeah.
That sucks. Sorry.
Hey, I enjoy it.
I mean, do your thing. Do your thing. I mean, you want to pay for Ultimate, that's fine.
I do.
I only pay for PC, and PC's not going up. So,
Well, I do have a console, so
and now that I've said it out loud, it's gonna go up.
I thought it was going up for like a buck.
It's going up for $1 for both Ultimate and console. PC Game Pass is not changing in price.
Well, I do Ultimate for both because a lot of times, like,
Yeah, if you have both, it makes sense.
yeah,
You know, I kind of feel like the reason they're doing this is to kind of like, you know, get a little bit more money towards Samsung because they are trying to push to get their Game Pass ability through all the Samsung TVs now.
all right. So hold on to all those thoughts. You're actually right, Chris, on that one. Hold on to all those thoughts. That's our next topic.
Right.
All right. So I have seen this next trailer, and I don't get why everybody's so upset about it. I do, and I don't.
Oh yeah, people are. I don't know why people are just. I think their expectations are just not their expectations. It's a great trailer. This is a great intro. I forgot his name. Dude's hilarious. Does a good job. What's that? They just put a chicken?
Yeah, that's a joke from the first
That's
one.
a Fable meme, yeah.
That's like any RPG joke. You know, you fuck with the chickens, you get fucked.
My sentiments exactly.
She was gonna say, "Oh, Fable."
Okay, so all the complaints I've seen are just upset about this character not being super attractive. Fine, but
I've seen that
I don't
too.
think that really matters, does it?
not in a Fable game. It doesn't
Okay.
because
To us, it doesn't matter. To other incels, yeah, it does. Sorry, should I not have said that? I'm sorry.
But,
I just spoke without thinking about it.
Fable's always been one of those games that's been over the top and ridiculous with the way your character looks. Yes, you can come up with some badass looking characters. You can come up with some highly attractive looking characters and all that, but it's all based around. It's more comedic than anything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like the original Fable games or the other ones, I remember them being very silly and goofy.
Yeah, like it was one of the first games that I ever played where a dude can run around in a dress based on stats. Like you did that. It's like, hey, this dress has 10 times better stats than the pants I'm wearing. I'm going to wear it for like 5 seconds. But
See, I think it's a little different than what you're saying. Like people are upset about it, but they're upset about it kind of like they're upset about. Remember when All Star used to be in every commercial, TV show, movie that you went to go see?
yeah,
Nothing wrong with it, but you're just tired of seeing it.
fair enough. I mean, and I am trying to come from a standpoint of being a old Fable fan, not necessarily from a modern political ideology standpoint. Because I fall on one side of the line on that one, and I'm getting sick and tired of seeing a lot of that crap everywhere. But I'm trying to look at this, like I said, from a perspective of Fable historically versus modern political ideology, if that makes sense. And am I being fair in that assessment?
I think the fairest assessment would be that when they went to go render the character for the trailer, they took the male and the female and they just merged them.
Fair enough. Like I said, like this character is not
Because
attractive.
I mean, look where you stopped. I mean, they've got
like this character is not attractive by any means. And
11-year-old me would be very excited about that level of cheek hair.
Should we talk about how awkward it is to talk about how attractive animated? I'm gonna say the word creatures.
Do you want me to find some of your old posts in Discord?
My old post in this. My old post. What are you talking?
now I would like to point out the fact that I do believe we've come far enough in time where animated figures we can find attractive. Like,
But I'm not losing my shit.
We meme on
over,
this shit
like-
all the time. That's
Yeah, we
basically
do.
what I'm saying.
But, like-
It is a regular conversation, but we're never too serious about it. But
Yeah.
like, who likes it when Buzz Killington shows up in the room? People don't like Buzz, but that's not because of Buzz. You know what I mean?
but yeah,
I mean, sure, I probably would have said some animated characters are attractive way if I could imagine them in real life. Possibly, I'm trying to think really hard right now.
Yeah, like
Well, there's a difference between traditional attractive and what like a lot of gamers find attractive because I mean, what's the original like iconic attractive female in a video game? It's a Lara Croft, right?
Yeah,
With the Madonna chest that you could like put an eyeball out with.
all the triangles.
Yeah. But when he did the remake, they didn't do any of that. But everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's great," but she was covered in dirt the whole time.
Do you not want your women covered in mud?
I mean, there's times and places.
It's not my fetish. Like you can make a girl with cute feet, and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, those are cute feet. I don't want nothing to do with them."
But yeah, it doesn't bother me whether someone's character's attractive or not, because you know when you say something like that, when I hear people like, "Oh, this character's not attractive," it just makes me think that you're just. You know,
Okay, so I'm gonna come at you from the flip side on this. I like my characters to be attractive, both male and female.
I mean,
So like,
I'm coming at
it's,
this from a slightly different angle.
Whether they're attractive or unattractive. I mean, I'm playing a game if they feel like their appearance fits the part for the role that they are playing. It doesn't bother me. I'm not sitting there.
If it fits,
the
yes.
beginning of the month when they released the new Mortal Kombat looks for everybody.
oh yeah,
It's like what the first week of June.
That is completely different. Obviously, like Mortal Kombat, they're trying to show off, you know, the feminine with their clothing and so on and so forth. Some of those dudes are just jacked and ripped. You know, you're not gonna have Paul Blart, you know, walking down the street.
Well, here's the thing: they changed some of the male characters as go around, some of their outfits and stuff. And a couple people I follow on Twitter, well, they happen to be of the bear persuasion, and they were mad as fuck. They are mad as all hell about Mortal Kombat, and I was like, does the gay community care this much about Mortal Kombat? I didn't understand this at first, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this shit. Like the dude I was watching, like Poe, was losing his ass over this because he's like, look what they took from us, and he showed the old Kano, and he was like, look at him, and he really did kind of look like the Kano from the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the new one kind of looks like Agent 47. He was pissed as shit. He's like, the other one had like the perfect body, like he was all simping and shit. And he's like, they took this from us in Pride Month, no less. And I'm like, slow down, slow down.
but like, you know, like I will agree that if the appearance of the character fits the narrative of the character, then it makes sense. Like that's fine. But like when I'm man, my mouth does not want to work tonight. Whenever I'm, you know, in a creative character or something like that, like I want my masculine characters to be hyper masculine in every aspect. Yeah, but
Yeah, like what would Asura's Wrath be if he was a 98-pound guy?
yeah, you know, what would, you know, Kratos look like if he started out looking like
He's
Atreus?
like an office job guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Now we're starting to like get into like the fine gritty details about how we want to do this, and like you're talking about like character creation. I understand people like care a lot about character creation and they just want to sit there and you know.
Well, you got to understand there are people that like when you have a perfectly reasonable character creator that they just don't like, they don't want to play the game anyway. Like people bitched about Dragon Age Inquisition's character creator to the point where they waited till mods came out before they played. Like
I'm actually one of those people that like I kind of hate character creators. I hate games that have multiple characters. Like I'm playing Dead Island 2 right now,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I hate that it has multiple characters because it also changes the dialogue. It changes the dialogue, and like the dialogue is very generic. Like when they're speaking to your character, I'm just like very impersonal. You know, it's impersonal. I mean, it does. I don't feel anything. You're talking about my character. You know, you're trying to be too vague about like who I actually am. And that's just games with multiple characters, and those have predefined character models. Now, games that have character creators, I also don't like. I understand them, but I don't like them. But I'm one of those people that like I just want to play the game. Like I don't like a character creator.
oh, you don't think it's funny to
I
play
just-
like really ugly Shepherd?
Really ugly shepherd? No, I made a very beautiful shepherd. She was so pretty. She was so pretty. Anyway, we're in the realm of.
Okay, but
I'm
anyway,
one of those people. I just hit random. I'm like, is it close to me? Okay, yeah, it's fine. Just keep going. Does he have dark skin? Good. And I keep it moving.
Speaking of keeping it moving, nice segue there, buddy. Thank you. Oh, nice.
Yes.
I have seen this trailer before, but I don't remember this part. If they have a sequence like this in the game, I'm gonna lose my shit. Because they're really good at this, like putting you like in the situation, especially with the voices in your head. If she's gonna have a claustrophobic scene, like crawling through like a tunnel in a cave, I'm not claustrophobic, but like crawling through a tunnel in a cave.
Dude, they did the ambiance thing in the trailer. Like, it's going on all around me in the trailer. That's crazy.
This is obviously gameplay.
Yeah. Still looks really good.
Crawling through a tunnel like that in a cave, I would probably like turn the monitor off and just hold the fort. No.
See, now you wouldn't do that because as soon as like you did that, you'd hear a scream and not know what it was. You'd be just smashing your keyboard. An unflattering opinion of the background.
I need to replay the first one now.
I was thinking the same thing. It's so good. I hope they don't do with this game like they do a lot of other games. Because like the first game, it was like it had like AAA money behind it, but like it was indie style. Makes sense?
Mm.
It wasn't complex. It wasn't complex. They didn't have like a lot of attributes or like a lot of things to it. It was very simple. Like you get away with like just like 4 or 5 buttons. Forward, backward, block, attack. That's it. I hope they just don't add too much of an RPG aspect to it and just like start developing skill. You know, and all this other
It was elegant in its simplicity.
Mm-hmm. I hope they keep it very simple. I think games like that are a lot better. I'm starting to go back to indie games. They're just so simple. AAA games, they just try to make it too complex. And it really bothers me.
They got straight up like chills from this.
I don't remember that trailer at all. I feel like this is like a different.
Xbox trying to get back in the RPG. The stream quality of the trailer is kind of lacking.
Eh.
I don't know. I've kind of been itching to go back and play another JRPG. It's been a long time. Okay, so I haven't seen this one yet.
I think this game's going to be dope. Also, that little creature she has, I want one. I feel like this is something that Disney or whoever owns the right to Star Wars now they need to do this with their movies. They need to get off the Jedi. When they start making movies, they need to put the Jedi in the back seat.
Well, they need to stop pissing on the Jedi when they use them. So you can't have both. You can't have the Jedi and then kneecap the Jedi.
Yeah.
Okay, while this game looks very pretty, we've seen no gameplay, and we have no idea what the plot is.
Mm-hmm. They had a 15-minute gameplay trailer.
Did they?
And the gameplay was
meh,
buttery. I thought it looked good. I thought it was really good. It's both like, I think it's open world, but also like when you're like in certain missions, it's very linear.
Okay, so the gameplay trailer reminded me of Mass Effect Andromeda. That really good engaging combat, open area, but I didn't see any real bells and whistles. Does that make sense?
I guess. I mean, I thought it was really cool. I thought the combat was really good. It was a combination of stealth and then being able to go balls. When it happened, they also were able to use the environment very well while you're in stealth and use your companion.
When I see a stealth section, I'm like, ooh, I got a stealth section I can fail.
Listen, stealth optional. Also, okay, so Rambo. Yeah. Here we go.
And that was kind of one thing that I didn't like about it. She was stealthing through, and it gave the impression that, like, if you stealth your way through, you're gonna be fine. But obviously, at some point, she was gonna get caught. She, like it was part of the mission. I kind of hate that. Like, we're like, well, stealth your way through if you can, but never mind, you're actually gonna get caught. So like,
that's why I Rambo shit, because I'm like, I'm just gonna pick where I pick the fight.
At all? Did it really matter?
Okay, so these next ones coming up, let's see. Persona 3 Reload, I'm assuming that's a remake of Persona 3. Then there's the Sea of Thieves expansion, which I guess we don't really need right now, because do we need to check into the Microsoft Flight Simulator?
It's the exact same thing. I think they were doing...
Okay.
Were they doing a Star Wars thing?
Payday 3. There's a Payday 3. Mm-hmm. And then an expansion for Fallout 76.
Payday 3 though. Payday 3 was dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Flight Simulator is having a crossover with somebody. I think it's Star Wars. I tried to get into Payday 2, but I think I was like so far behind. I didn't really understand the aspect of it when I first started playing it. And I was also like so late to the party that like when I tried to play it online, everyone was light years ahead of me. So I was always fucking up everything. Because I didn't have suppressors for any of my weapons. So I couldn't do anything. And then someone would see me, like I didn't have like really good sneaking. But to play it from the beginning and where everyone's on the same level, that might be good.
I mean, the gameplay in it is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm with you. Yeah, by the time I got into it, there was a meta involved.
Yeah.
And here's the best part of Payday: the soundtrack.
You know, when the trailer started, I was like, I was kind of like losing interest real quick because of the way the environment looked. But it looks like once you're up and going, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's lots of particle effects in Payday games. Like everything is kind of low res because once shit starts popping off, there's sparks and bullet holes and all sorts of shit going everywhere.
New Forza.
This game
Ooh,
looks
new Forza.
gorgeous.
They always do.
And yet I'm only interested in playing them when I can play with the Hot Wheels track.
Only in Horizon. So, you know, Forza Horizon is like the arcade style, whereas Forza Motorsports is the sim style.
Speaking of racing games, did they ever announce if they were going to do another Need for Speed Underground?
Need for Speed Underground?
Yeah.
No. They haven't like announced like a remake or like a reboot or anything like that. I think they're just keeping it moving, just you know, pushing dirt onto our nostalgia.
Hmm.
I always find racing games so hard to play.
It's tough because you have to adjust to the style of each one because they all drive differently.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I grew up playing racing games and understanding that like, you know, each one's going to drive differently. So
Not only that, but like I've always wanted to be one of those people that could play in first person mode. I can't.
yeah, racing games are tough to play in first person. Very tough.
All right, what we got coming up now? Expansion for Elder Scrolls Online. Overwatch 2 we could pass. Persona 5. Like a Dragon. Are we going to skip ahead all the way to Cyberpunk?
You can.
Let's do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm actually like super pissed because like I had bought the deluxe edition of Cyberpunk, and this is not included in the deluxe edition. I was like, why the fuck did you even have a deluxe edition then? Dicks. I thought it was included. It's like the one time I didn't like actually like look.
Let's see the Project Red. Isn't it going to just come out pretty cheap though?
It's $30.
Probably.
Really?
It's how much?
It's $30 just for this expansion. And it wasn't included.
I will
It
hold
wasn't
judgment on that
included-
depending on how many hours you get.
I forgot like why I bought the digital deluxe edition too, man. It's like it had to have like some like, because I normally like look at like the deluxe edition compared to like the standard edition to like find the differences. Like if it's just cosmetics, I'm not doing that. There had to be like a good draw. And they must have had some wording where I thought I was going to get the DLC. But then I didn't, and I was pissed.
I'm just kind of wondering if they're going to expand on the story yet on the whole I'm dying in 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently, I mean, you know, Johnny Silver's in it, so it has to take.
This is your last ditch effort to survive.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This is the end of your survival time, and you get wrapped into helping the president of what remains of the United States.
didn't he say that in the original game? Are they just reusing his dialogue?
It sounds kind of like it a little bit.
He is re-saying some lines, but it's still Keanu recording new stuff because he's gone. You've just got bits of him.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they were just, reusing his dialogue for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Avowed.
Super excited for this, actually. Going back to the... Never mind. I don't know what game this is. Yeah, why do they have the main character looking like he's walking straight out of Assassin's Creed?
Looks like a cross between OG Fable and Oblivion. That actually looks really interesting to me.
I'm down. Oh, Game Pass.
Just about everything they showed in the showcase is coming to Game Pass.
Well, Phantom Liberty is not. But when they had problems with Cyberpunk originally, Sony yanked it off their system before they could give refunds. So CD Projekt Red had to go through a whole rigmarole to refund PlayStation users who wanted a refund because the store wouldn't do it. So they had to do it out of their own pocket. So now you notice they didn't advertise anything on the PlayStation showcase, and they advertised on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
They remembered.
Yeah, the whole thing's convoluted as hell. All right, so we got a couple things I'm looking forward to, a couple things that I just not care about. So we'll hop back on the topic here of Game Pass. So we are getting an alleged price increase coming up soon, and you know what? I'm not worried about paying an extra $1 a month for the value I get out of it. I'm not.
I think it's completely fair with how much they just announced, like these massive titles that are coming straight to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's also coming in the news that a lot of developers are upset with Game Pass. They feel like they're being, taken advantage of, or
Of course they are.
at least with the Sony developers or Sony CEOs and board
So
members and-
yeah, I don't know if you noticed that or not. Like you just said, every one of those articles is getting talked about from a Sony CEO point of view.
Mm.
And it's not from the actual game developers themselves.
True.
I have yet to see one of those.
I mean, I can still see it. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I can imagine it being tough being able to give them, what am I trying to say? Give the developers the royalties or, the funds they deserve if they were to sell that many copies.
Yeah, I could see from that aspect, because like, I mean, what are they really getting out of it? You know, do they get like, is it?
This is also the piracy argument. Like, oh, we pirated a game. It's a game we won't sell. Well, some people just pirate your stuff because they don't want to. Some people download your stuff on Game Pass because they wouldn't normally play it.
Yeah, like half the games that we saw just now, I would not buy, but
Correct.
I'll play them on Game Pass.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I'll at least download it, install it, and give it a try. But like right now, like my gaming lineup's pretty full, and for me to break out of that for any of this, I need to have easy access to it. I mean, that's
The
just
games
me.
have gotten more expensive. Everything's gotten more expensive. We've cut down on the number we buy. You're just going to have to live with it. You know, this is the Netflix universe. You know,
I mean,
games have shown up for a streaming service. You just can't undo it.
But I will say this though, from another perspective, is that if I download a game on Game Pass and I fully enjoy it, I will buy it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that with Outriders.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I still haven't gotten to that point. Needed to buy a game.
Now this is also because you know how not everything is, you know, 100% on Game Pass all the time. This is so that I don't lose access to certain things. But I'm not against buying it, supporting a company for giving me access to a game that's worth my time.
The Guardians of the Galaxy game. I tried that on Game Pass and ended up buying it on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So, I mean, back to this whole thing though, is how every article we read about how bad Xbox is coming from PlayStation executives. Every time that we hear this, it's we keep hearing PlayStation keep trying to bash Xbox, and Xbox is like, you know what? Name another studio and we'll buy it. And I'm just like, that's all right. I don't know what's going to happen with this Activision merger.
I don't know either, but like they keep approving all the Disney acquisitions, and I'm looking at this going, are you guys running from the same playbook?
No, they're not.
There's a lot more television media out there. There's also a lot more gaming media out there. But when it comes to, like, I guess, high profile, okay, never mind, you might have a point.
See, I'll even let you get away with the Marvel thing, because, okay, at the time when they were purchased, Marvel wasn't exactly the huge property that it is now.
No. Actually,
But
it was
Star Wars and then 20th Century Fox on top of it.
But see, that's just those two. I mean, you still have other things that are out there, like, you know, HBO Max has a bunch of studios. HBO, Warner Brothers, you know, they have studios. Sony's, you know, Picture Entertainment, they have a bunch of studios. You know, I mean, I think the diversity when it comes to television media or, you know, film media is a lot more than it is when it comes to gaming media.
Yeah. I mean, the on the Marvel argument, I mean, Marvel was one failed movie away from going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, fine, Disney could buy that one. But when they bought Star Wars, I'm like, you just bought the right to print money. And then they set it on fire for some reason. Who knows?
Yeah.
Could have been so easy.
Yeah, so easy.
Easy.
Like, just crack open a couple of books and just start printing money, you know? That's all they had to do.
All he had to do was call Dave Filoni and like, hey, make a couple more seasons of Clone Wars, and then we'll just coast on this until we figure out what to do.
I mean,
And
that's
they
what
could have gotten away with it.
that's what they're going to do now. They realize their mistake. And they're just like, what, source material? What the fuck is source material?
Yeah, we didn't have any source material to go off with. And I'm just like, I just looked over at my bookshelf going, are you sure?
Now they called in those two dudes to come in like, all right.
Yeah.
Let's fix it.
And I can't tell you, like, every 3 months I see a new article of Kathleen Kennedy is out. And I'm like, I'll believe it when she's actually gone.
Show me a picture of that bitch being escorted out by security, and I will finally believe you. Because at this point, I'm wondering how the shareholders haven't tried to do it, because they lost almost $1 billion in films this year.
Yeah.
$900 million in losses.
See,
this
okay,
year.
all right. So excluding Star Wars, just in the whole Disney thing, the reason that Disney keeps doing the live action remakes is not to make money. They're doing it to maintain property rights. So Little Mermaid,
Yeah,
Lion King.
that's a weird face, but yeah, like they have certain property right timetables on those old movies.
Yeah.
If they don't re-release them in a theater or remake them in some form or retie to them, they lose some of those, old, agreement.
Yeah.
They're just putting shit out, so they just keep the agreements up.
Yeah. What's the
Should let all them shits expire. Should let all them shits expire.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is just a couple of years away from becoming public domain.
Yeah, the Steamboat Willie version, so you have to draw his ass with a big ass tail, but you can get away with some Winnie the Pooh blood and honey bullshit.
Yeah.
I've come to kill you all.
They should have let all that Disney shit run out. Did they have I guess probably.
Okay, so here's the thing. All of those old animated movies are some of the most profitable movies of all time. Okay, and that's just from merchandising standpoints and all that. All right, so they make a failed live action. You know what they can do in 5 years? Re-release the old animated version and make millions again.
I want to watch Twitter blow up when they re-release The Little Mermaid now.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's corporate underhanding BS going on.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the Tarzan remake.
Do it, I dare you.
You know, race swap that motherfucker.
So yeah, everybody in this chat knows what's going on, right?
Some more wild spider sense is going off. He's like, wait a minute.
All right, so Baldur's Gate 3 has a bold claim of claiming to have 174 hours of cinematics. Has anybody else here played the demo? Or not the demo, but the early access? Okay. So these cinematics...
I will say this. I will tell you this. I played the early access for about 3 hours, and I spent an hour and a half of that trying to get the settings right.
Yeah.
And I actually got a refund for it, because I was like, look, man, I know it's early access, but I can't even try it.
So I've replayed because the game's going to be in like 3 or 4 acts, and the entire early access is the first act. And I played through that like 3 or 4 times with different characters, different classes, things like that. And the most important stat is charisma. You want all the conversations to go your way? Dump everything into charisma.
In every single RPG ever. That's why whenever we play a tabletop, like, I don't need charisma. And I'm like,
when I have an interesting character, have negative charisma.
well, yeah.
But yeah, so like they're claiming to have 174 hours of cinematics. I can see that, but it's going to be so all of the cinematics are going to be in game using the in-game engine. They're not going to be pre-rendered
the
cinematics.
in-game engine was actually pretty good for the cinematics. I'll have to give it credit for that.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if they're claiming all of the dialogue that you can have as a cinematic.
That's possible.
It's still a lot
Because,
of
from what I saw, they did do a lot of cinematics.
Yeah. You know, camera pans here, camera pans there. Like, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but 174 hours worth. I mean, you're not going to see 174 hours worth of cinematics on a playthrough. You're not. That's for each choice that's going to change the nature of the game.
That's what I felt like too. Like multiple endings, like multiple plot points.
Yeah.
Different ways that it could go.
Yeah.
You know.
Are you going to be the
multiple...
asshole? Are you going to be the holy goody two shoes character? Are you going to, you're going to have
characters.
Yeah, I get the feeling that one whatever isn't going to be like the average. It's going to be the absolute limit. Once you've hit this many hours of cinematics, you're done.
Yeah.
And you also make a good point. Like, is it going to be like actual like cinematics, or are you talking about like running dialogue, like with NPCs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I'm wondering, I think it's more along the lines of the running dialogue, because there was a lot in the conversations.
Or are we going to get hit with one of those quantum break things where we have to like stop playing for half an hour to watch a cinematic?
Yeah. So, and here's, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to bring this up. How much of that is in the adult scenes?
Meh.
So I don't know if you guys watched like the original developer interviews. They panned over a wall and they went over how they had to change everything depending on character height.
Change what things?
Positions. They had the Kama Sutra
The
playbook.
angle of the dangle.
Yeah. They had the Kama Sutra playbook pose by pose up on a wall with different character types. You know, here's a dwarf. Here's a standard human. Here's a gnome.
You know what that wall says to me? That there's an entire wall of a human being who was traumatized by playing a dwarf in Dragon Age Origins and having to sleep in Morgan.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, before this goes down a really weird rabbit hole.
Too late.
All right, so I have seen a lot of articles around this, but nobody has given me a confirmation. Most of the articles I've seen have been about fakes. So Magic the Gathering has just released a Lord of the Rings multiverse set. I am not personally impressed with the set. It's got a couple of banger cards in it, but outside of that, it's meh. And I'm saying that from a guy who's been playing since 1994. And it's meh. There's a couple of cards in there where you're just like, that's fucking broken. But they did one card that is of a specific artwork. The entire card is in Elvish of the One Ring. There's one print of it worldwide. Nobody knows where it is, and there's been lots of claims to have found it.
I thought someone did find it, and they got what is it, PSA, or like the official like authentication service, like worldwide. They confirmed it is the actual card.
Okay, so I saw a couple of those go through, and then come back that Wizards like we haven't even printed it yet.
Ooh. I did not see that.
Yeah.
The one I shared was like the authentication service went in and like, yep, this is the actual card. Go ahead and pay.
Yeah.
For it.
They are tempting fate. I want you to understand this, because a grandma is going to buy this for one of their kids that doesn't play.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, look at this. And they're going to shred it. No one's ever going to know what happened to it. There's going to be a big debacle.
I don't know. This is one of those Charlie and the Chocolate Factory things where people are going around and buying truckloads of the cards trying to find it.
So, I mean, yeah, you do make a good point about that. Like, like whether like a grandma or like some kid gets it. Because they did make a point about that, like in the article. They were like, someone who bought the pack and saw the card and they immediately knew what it was and its value. So they immediately, like, put it through for authentication.
I mean, I would. Like, if I pull the card, like I'm not keeping that card.
Right.
Well, you've got to consider, like, even in your average shipment into your average Walmart or your average store, a box is going to get damaged. A couple of packs are going to get lost. You're going to have to write them off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
and
there's...
that might happen.
And he's gone.
I just think about how like for Pokemon, like how many people probably have like super rare cards that they just don't know are rare, and they're just like, it's just a run-of-the-mill card or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's, probably worth a decent amount of money. I think about like, I should go back through my Pokemon collection. I still have all my cards. Maybe maybe one is rare.
Yeah, like I can't tell you how many people who said that I had a first edition foil Charizard. And they're like, yeah, I gave it to my little brother when I was like 25 and bloop, gone. It's like, oh, okay, well, you just threw away $30,000. Good luck. But I've kind of been in that same boat myself. That's a story for another time. Oh, his power went out.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. He might be back in a minute. All right, so
okay, never mind.
All right, what's up?
I was just gonna say, so the Magic the Gathering, I don't know who prints the cards, but they said they haven't printed the card yet.
Actually, I think it's is it Bandai who prints it? No.
I thought you said Blizzard for a second. I was like, why would Blizzard be doing that?
No, not Bandai. The company that owns He-Man. Is that Bandai?
He-Man?
Yeah. Makes all the board games and stuff like that. Basically, there's a parent company to Wizards of the Coast, and they handle all that.
Wizard, not Blizzard.
Wizard. And he's gone. All right. This I thought was hilarious is that, how do you even pronounce that? Is it Daedalic? Or Daedalic? Daedalic?
I think it's Daedalic.
Daedalic. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. So Daedalic Entertainment to leave game production to focus on publishing after the disaster of Gollum. Tell me you made a bad game without telling me you made a bad game.
Yeah, fucking bounce.
Yeah,
that sucks. You know, I mean, they got a lot of bad press. You know, a lot of hate. So
like
much hate.
a part of me wants to play this game and find out if it's as bad as ET. If it's on that level of bad.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will come to Xbox. It'll come to Game Pass, or it will come to PlayStation. Not like the monthly free games, but like the game that allows you to. I forgot the service because they changed it now. It's no longer PlayStation Now, but like that allows you just to stream games. Stream or even download them for free. I think it's like their collection catalog, PlayStation catalog. That's
it. Yeah.
So it's gonna come to the PlayStation catalog or to Xbox or PC Game Pass. And you'll be able to play it there. I'm sure it won't take long.
Probably not. You'll find it in like the $3 bin at Walmart here pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right. So this I was actually really excited about. So we have 4 volunteers have entered into a Mars simulated habitat for a year. Like, if there's a reality TV show that I want to watch, it's that.
It is that.
I saw something about that. I hadn't heard anything else about it though.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they're gonna keep them in there for I think it's 174 days.
I thought it was 365. I thought they were going to stay in there for an
Yeah.
entire year.
So it was like 374 days is what it was. I remember it was a weird number. It was over a year. I know what I said. I'm also dyslexic. All right. I'm dyslexic and I got some brain fog going on here, which is probably why my low energy. But yeah, if there was a reality TV show that I would want to watch, it would be that. It's like, how are those guys doing this whole time?
Because it's 4 volunteers. I mean, I also want to know the sex and the marital status of all these individuals as well, because I'm sure that will play a very hefty role.
I think it's 2 and 2.
2 and 2. I thought it was 2 and 2 as well. Okay.
So there'll be some stress relief going on at some point in time. But another part of me is like, is this going to, are they going to crack the door open after a year and be like, okay, and they're just, blood painted on the walls,
I'm also curious, like, do they have CCTVs, set up for them, so that NASA can monitor them, or are they like completely cut off? Do they have are they going to simulate, communication delay? Like, you can contact NASA, but they're going to simulate
that would be interesting.
And it's going to take 3 hours for NASA to respond.
That would be interesting because I don't know if you saw that. I saw some pictures. They also set up an outdoor area.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah. They're in the middle.
They put on suits?
I'm assuming so.
Do they get supply drops? This is very interesting. This is really cool. Yeah. I remember when it was oh, you can enter your application, be one of the first people on Mars. We'll send you to Mars. By the way, it's a one-way trip. I was like, I might do it. I kind of want to think about it. I want to do it. It's this is actually super interesting.
Yeah. Also,
what are these 4 people doing? I imagine they're of some scientific nature. That's also what made me realize I'm not smart enough to go.
The initial experiment is to test the mental stability of a human being of being in this environment for over a year.
Right, I understand that, but I'm no, what are they doing? I imagine that these people are behind the scientific nature, trying to say a botanist. Or, geologist? That's not it. That's not. Is it geologist? Oh shit.
Geologist.
Thank you. There's more, man.
Germologist? What?
What is this? Coming from? We don't know. Yeah, a geologist.
It's like I don't know what you're saying.
And what if they set up? What if they set up these practical exercises for them to do like
Yeah.
because they're not just going to be living on Mars. They're not just going to be living there. They're going to actually doing their actual job. They're going to be doing, scientific research. Do they set up like I said, practical exercises or environments for them to do this? Try to cultivate new plant life within the Martian habitat if possible.
Are they going to have simulated emergencies?
Ooh, simulated emergencies. Oh, that'd be fucked up.
Yeah, just like, here's a random power outage.
They couldn't do that. They probably can't do that because they want to test out how long they will survive in for 365 days in isolation. If you're gonna simulate a power outage or simulate a decompression, like a hole breach in the habitat, you can't do that because then there's a large chance that they will all die if something like that were to happen. If the habitat were to have a hole breach, everyone would die. So then you would cut your experiment short. So you couldn't do anything catastrophic.
I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting though. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't do that day one. But I mean you imagine
do it. I guess you could do it and then be like, oh, by the way, y'all died. It's fine. Let's just reset. But then you also break the immersion.
Yeah.
You break the immersion and what they're actually going through for 365 days.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's really interesting to see where this is going to go. I would love to know if they have a CCTV system. I'm assuming that they would, but they probably won't allow visualization to the public.
I'm sure they do. They probably have some way to monitor them to make sure everyone stays safe at all times. To make sure that one of them doesn't snap and start doing anything. I'm sure they monitor. They probably do monitor it live. You can't monitor it to the public because if someone does snap and goes on a rampage, you can't have that. Just live
Prometheus in the Sahara. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really. This is kind of exciting because, this could be the future of where we go. Let's spread the human plague into another planet. I'm all for it.
Spread the human plague. Very accurate. Become a multi-planet species.
Hey, I'm down. Didn't they just find another Earth-like planet, like one galaxy over?
They have,
or like one solar system over, something like that.
I forgot how far it is. I want to say it's like 4 light years.
Yeah, it wasn't very far on the intergalactic scale.
Yeah, on the cosmic scale, it's not that far.
Cosmic scale. Yeah.
So very, very, very far. I think it is the next solar system over. I forgot the name of it. Sagittarius. Not Sagittarius. Can't be Sagittarius. Oh well. And then I think they found multiple, Earth-like planets, that they, suspect to have all the resources necessary to create life and are in the habitable zone, being the proper distance from their star that they revolve. Yes.
Orbit
is probably a more accurate word.
And then I've seen some other studies coming out that there's been some studies saying that the Big Bang Theory might be more theory than actual fact, and how there might actually be evidence that we're actually living in a black hole.
I mean, I could see living in a black hole.
Yeah.
I mean, everything being sucked into a black hole.
Which could be why we can only see so far into the universe. Because we actually have a visible border. We don't know what's outside the border, and we never will be, not within our...
I feel it might be tough for us to live in a black hole. This is only my personal opinion. I have no scientific background to speak on this form whatsoever. But for us to live in a black hole, if a black hole was sucking in all of the mass that it has the ability to grasp. And from our perspective, we are living in a universe that is constantly expanding. I just don't see it being possible. If that makes sense. I mean, I guess once we're inside a black hole, we can still, expand what's in the black hole, but like...
Yeah, it's like as it absorbs more material, it needs to expand.
Does the black hole have like a finite definition of like how much it... I mean... So I imagine that like if we're being sucked into a black hole, if everyone's inside of a black hole, I also imagine... So if we're getting sucked into a black hole and we are also expanding at the same time, are we living in like one of those Harry Potter tents where it looks like it's, a pint-sized tent, but once you go in it, it's just massive mansion? That kind of like breaks the laws of physics, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what black holes do.
I mean, black holes, in our opinion, it sucks in matter, and it just has such a high gravitational pull, and
I mean, it can pull in freaking light, so
yeah, it has. So it just crushes everything down to the tiniest amount of matter that it could actually be.
I mean,
space.
All right, so I would like to also preface that I am also not a scientist, but I do love scientific theory. Now, could our historical Big Bang be the moment that all of the excess energy leaves the surface of the black hole onto the interior?
Fuck me up.
Yeah, right?
You fucked me up. God damn it.
I try. Anyway, we'll go ahead and...
Wow. No, I don't want to wrap this up at all, man. Let's keep going with this shit.
All right, well, we'll keep going for a couple more minutes here.
We're at least like a good 20 minutes before we reach max. Wow. So you're talking about so the black hole, as it ingests matter and energy, on the other side of the event horizon, is expelling its energy inside of the black hole, creating the Big Bang.
Hmm. Now, I mean, that's just a thought. That's one of those, I am not on THC right now, and it would probably go a lot deeper if I was. But, and also being semi-religious, this is all, I think you could be both religious and scientist at the same time, scientific at the same time. Two things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not like full blown zealot, but I'm there. Anyway, just from my standpoint, I adore science. I love science, and space is freaking amazing and scary. There's two things that terrify me in all of reality. It's deep space and deep ocean.
Oh, dude, you wanted to have a conversation about some deep ocean shit? No, let's not do that.
I'd like to sleep tonight.
Yes.
I've seen some of the stuff that comes up from that, and
I think it's more terrifying that we know more about the entire universe, the entire visible universe, than we do about our own ocean on this fucking planet.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
It is. It's like we can figure out the, where an asteroid will fly through our solar system, but we can't figure out, where all these different varieties of fish keep coming from.
We only have like 5% of our oceans mapped.
Yeah.
The ocean floor. It's fucking terrifying. Anyway, continue back to space.
Yeah, this is the deepest known region. I'm like, no, that's deepest mapped region. Because there's also they discovered another ocean underneath most of the continents.
Oh, you're talking about that fucking ocean. I've seen a lot of things about this. They've even someone had a submersible and they were trying to break the surface of the ocean that they found underneath the Pacific Ocean, and they couldn't do it. They just found there's I don't know, how you imagine water on top of oil.
Yeah,
it was like that.
Yeah,
and there's an ocean underneath our ocean. God, we're about to enter some fucked up shit.
All right, let's go back to the outer space.
So you said something about a black hole, creating.
And that's good terminology, though. Is on the other side of the event horizon. I like that.
So you were talking about a Big Bang, and it got me thinking about. I think I heard a theory about there being multiple Big Bangs, and we're just this is just our Big Bang over here, and it got me thinking. I'm like, it's extremely possible. So we have our observable universe.
Mm-hmm.
What if our universe So I'll start by saying like the multi-universe theory. Like everyone was like, oh, you have to cross in like like a different frequency or like different dimension to access another universe. What if it's not like that? What if our universe is in the same space as another universe?
I can totally 100% see that.
Like you've seen many videos on like show like the observable universe and it's in a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And done that. So like, what happens when you escape that ball and just enter other space? Can you see like another universe off that's also comprised of billions upon trillions of galactic clusters, which contain billions upon trillions of galaxies, which contain billions upon trillions of solar systems.
I think we're getting a lot out there, but I can totally see the dimension on top of dimension. I mean, it's the only way. The Mandela effect fucks me up day to day. Like I was sitting there having a conversation with somebody and they'll bring up, oh, this is going to have this person in the movie. I'm like, they died 15 years ago. What are you talking about? Like I have memories of things that never happened. I mean, I'm also old and senile, but.
Okay, maybe I don't know the Mandela effect. Tell me the Mandela effect.
All right. So the Mandela effect is named after Nelson Mandela.
I think I was getting to that point. Okay.
So there was.
Talk about early guys, but I gotta go.
Yeah. Take it easy, man.
All right,
I'll see you
Hey,
guys.
take care of yourself. Hope you feel better.
Yeah, man.
So there was a theory in articles written back saying that Nelson Mandela died. Right. And all of a sudden, like it was like 1992, he just pops back up and he's relevant again. And everybody swore he was dead. This is where he gets his name. So deja vu is a kind of a Nelson Mandela effect. All right. So, which do you remember? The Berenstein Bears or the Berenstein Bears?
You're fucking with me right now. It's the Berenstein Bears. It's the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah, see, I remember the Berensteins. I remember them being.
You just said that because I said my answer, so you had to.
No. I've had this conversation with other people. Like, I have witnessed this saying, like, I remember the Berensteins. I remember Stein.
I think it was always EIN. It's just like how you pronounced it. Do you pronounce it Steen or do you pronounce it Stein?
So,
But I mean,
that's go look it up. That's not the spelling. Yeah.
You're fucking with me right now. You're fucking with me right now.
I'm not.
I don't even. How do you spell Berenstein? B-A-R.
Just look up Mandela effect. It's one of the first ones that'll pop up. I guarantee it. All right. The old Looney Tunes cartoons. How do they spell tunes?
Berenstein? Where did the fucking A come from?
Exactly.
Berenstein. Okay. Were they the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstein Bears? It's not even Berenstein. Oh my god. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. So, before you look this up, how do you remember the old like 70s and 80s Looney Tunes cartoons, right? 70s, 80s, and 90s Looney Tunes cartoons, right?
Yeah,
And when
Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny,
yeah,
Elmer Fudd.
yeah, and when it came up, all right, how did they spell tunes?
Looney Tunes. T-O-O-N. Yeah, T-O. I want to say there's an E in there somewhere. Why do I want to say there's an E in there? No, Looney. Yeah, because there's Looney. 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 Tunes.
Like cartoons. I remember it like cartoons. Toons. That's how I remember it.
Tunes?
Yes.
I want to say Tons, but when I visualize it does come out as Tunes. I don't fucking know why.
So I've always remembered Toons, like tunes, like cartoons, Looney cartoons.
Oh my god, I see a picture of the fucking Looney Tunes right now, and I have no idea what the fuck to think right now. I typed in Mandela effect, and that's the first thing that came up.
All right, here's a rabbit hole for you.
I don't know which one's real. I don't know which one's real.
Yeah. And it's just
you're gonna drop the fucking Flintstones on me right now?
all right. So I haven't seen the Flintstones one.
Oh shit, that's really fucking with me because I was thinking about this the other fucking day. Is it the Flint Stones or the Flynn Stones?
It was Flint, like rock. Flint.
This one is saying the Flint Stones. And I was thinking about it, I was like, how did I pronounce it? Oh my god, I was saying it to myself. Yeah, I would say the Flintstones. But I understand it's the Flint Stones.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say Flintstones, just like,
It rolls off the tongue easier.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue easier.
Yeah.
That's really fucking creepy. Dude, I was literally thinking about this like 2 or 3 days ago. I was bored in the house, just sitting there and just something that came to my fucking head.
Yep. Welcome to the Mandela effect.
Because this is now deja vu. Because I thought about it before, but
Mm-hmm.
dude, I had hardcore deja vu like a little couple minutes after.
Okay, so here's the theory behind deja vu. All right, is you are reliving the memory of another version of yourself going through that same thing.
Correct.
Like, that's what the theory behind deja vu is. I mean, it's obviously unprovable in our current understanding of reality or time and space. But, if we were able to perceive into the fifth dimension, we would understand this better. But we cannot perceive that way because we are three-dimensional beings.
Mm-hmm. There was a theory that there is no such thing as present. Everything that we see, touch, and feel everything is a memory. Everything has already been pre-recorded or so on. We are just.
Yeah. But also, like, this also leads into
the Monopoly Man. The Monopoly Man did not have a monocle. Oh shit! You're fucking with me right now.
Yeah. See, like, I always saw him with a monocle.
I don't like. I remember like.
I cannot remember him without a monocle.
But this particular image, like I want to say he never had a monocle. But this particular image, like, it has him with the monocle. I'm like, no, that's not right. But like, you see him on the box, and he's just standing there by himself. He's not running. It's just his upper half. He has the monocle. But this picture, like, he's running with the bag of gold, the bag of money. He shouldn't have a monocle. Oh, dude. It's because there's multiple images of these things, and they just differentiate.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the image of him on the box, and it's just from the chest up, and he's like, hey, it's Monopoly. He has the monocle. But this picture, where he's running, he's got the bag of cash, he doesn't have the monocle. So we see both images at the same time. Both, I guess, are canon, and now we're trying to merge them both. So now we see him with the bag of cash with the monocle, when that one is probably not true. Now, whether it's true or not, like, whether it's actually printed that way, I have no clue. But that's just me trying to.
Yeah, and it's hard to wrap your head around too. It's you keep wanting to rationalize what's going on, and you can't. Like, yeah, it's a freaking rabbit hole, and I'm starting to think that we should probably do an entire episode based around this stuff.
Weren't we supposed to be talking about black holes?
We were, and no, like, this kind of falls into that though. Like, if like black holes could be a phenomenon that sucks up dimensions and stacks them on top of each other, which is where we get dimensional merging.
Right. I'm under the belief now that there are no things as we're not in stacked dimensions. Like I said before, like, there is the universe, and we have our universe, but then. So like, how much distance do you have between solar systems, and then how much distance do you have between galaxies, and then the distance between galaxy clusters, So we have our observable universe. So what if our observable universe, if you shrink it down to like the size of a marble, and then now you have another marble over here, so on and so forth, kind of like what they did with galaxies and Men in Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
So Men in Black or DC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever watched the or seen some of the old DC, how it's just like every world is, they have like, they'll pan out to like Earth 666, Earth 1, Earth,
Mm-hmm.
It was a 346.
It almost looks like what's the thing with the sliders?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what if you shrink down the universe to that scale, and now there's multiple universes just side by side, and we can have that in our own plane of existence, because we don't know, as we say, the universe is expanding.
Mm-hmm.
and we just don't know what the universe is expanding into. It's just this giant space, this giant area. So, you know, what if our universe isn't the only universe, you know, inside of this space where there's multiple Big Bangs?
Yeah.
You know?
And every time something like this happens, it's just us living the memory of the other one, or vice versa. Either that, or it's just a glitch in the Matrix, and they had to, you know, do a patch reset.
Dude, how often I think that we're being, you know, living in a simulation. That could be another topic, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
itself.
do we need to have an entire theory web?
I think we should, man.
Yeah, just like forget the gaming for a week and just, I'm game.
Into theory and mythology.
Yeah.
Dude, simulation. You know, Neil Tyson, like he drops like, you know, mad knowledge all the time.
Oh yeah.
Mad knowledge all the time, and it's just like, you know, because there could be an infinite amount of simulations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you're living in a simulation, there's infinite amount. But he said, he's like, there's only a 50% chance that we live in a simulation. We're either the first simulation or we're the very last.
Yeah.
We are not in between. So you can have, like, you know, the first simulation or the last one, and then have like tens of thousands in between it. Or we are none of those. We are either the first or we are the last. And I'm just like, it's really fucked up. Or not the first or the last. We're either the real world or the last simulation.
Ah, okay.
We're either the real world or we're the last simulation.
Damn it! Now I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole again and find all this crap on Mandela effects and.
God, it's so fucking weird because he's like, so right now we do not have the ability to create a lifelike simulation.
Right.
So, either we are the first world and we are in the process of trying to create a lifelike simulation, you know, simulation world, or we are the last world and we have already been created, but we are still in the process of trying to create it.
What if, hear me out on this one. What if we are in a simulation, right? Mm-hmm. And the closer we get to making our own simulations brings more rise to the negative side effects of it within our own mythos.
I did not understand that.
Okay, so all right, so now we're getting we have a guy in here trying to get us to follow him. Anyway, all right, so think about this. So Sword Art Online, its mass popularity. Right. It was nothing but about the negative effects of being immersed in a simulation. Ready Player One, same thing. Here's all the things that can go wrong when you're fully immersed in a simulation. Like, there was just this massive rise in popularity of this subject as we are delving deeper into attempting full immersion simulations. So what if that is whoever is behind the simulation saying, hey, you're getting too close. Here's the things that can go wrong. And then we would be stuck in that whole Matrix situation of being a simulation within a simulation within a simulation.
Right. I definitely get the simulation. So you're talking about, like, we could be in a simulation right now and they are testing everything that could go wrong. Which is like,
or they're telling us everything that can go wrong. Like, how deep do you want to go? Like,
are you trying to get to the point where, like, so like when I hear you say that, like, you're thinking about, like, you know,
us being within a simulation, attempting to make a simulation, and the previous simulation is telling us what can go wrong by being in a simulation.
Right. So like what I'm trying to say, like if we realize that we're in a simulation, we lose our morality. I guess I would kind of say, like, our morality, or what we are, our ethics. When we see,
I don't think we would lose that, because human beings have a natural morality.
No, so this is where my mind went when you said that. So when you play Grand Theft Auto and you go on a massive rampage, you don't care, right?
Fair.
You are just taking out, video game characters, so on and so forth. What if, we were looking about what is good and bad about that? I play Grand Theft Auto, and I know it's fine for me to go on a rampage like that and just, bang out all these NPCs because it's fine. They're video game characters. It means nothing to me.
So
now we're in a
we'll come back to
simulation. So what if someone, that does, in our frame of mind as being what is the real world, but they are committing mass murder. They are going on a, active shooter rampage because they feel, just
they're disconnected from the possibility of that being their real life. That's actually been a thing.
Right.
That has been a thing. Like there have been people caught or stopped, and they're like, "Wait, I just did that in real life." Like, yeah.
I'm also, in any way, not trying to blame video games for this. I'm just talking about the disconnect from reality.
Right. Actually, it was proven opposite on that, in that rampages like that through like Grand Theft Auto are actually a great relief of stress and so that people who have a proclivity to do that won't, because they have an outlet.
Okay.
Now, this also butts heads with the opposing theory of, if somebody gets their rocks off doing stuff like that, how far are they going to go in their next step trying to find the next high?
Mm-hmm.
So
I was about to fuck up your mind a little bit more. Like, we understand that like doing that in a video game is a good, good stress relief, so on and so forth. But now, what if because we are a simulation, what if we are, the simulation? What if we are the video game and someone in the world above us is controlling that character?
Well, then my guy needs to get his damn stats right. Oh, don't give me that.
Yep. See, we're in the Matrix. We are the programs.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Like,
who knows who's the main?
I don't believe it goes that far. Like, I am not of the belief that we are within a simulation. But I will entertain the theory, because we're in that realm of unknown, where it also falls, say, onto like the religious principles of, I believe, therefore it is, and in this case, I don't believe, therefore it isn't. I am because I say I am. I would like that my personal deep thoughts actually mean something to myself, versus bumping into the main character at some point in time.
Fuck the main character.
Yeah, fuck me. All right, let's go ahead and let's wrap this up here. We'll try to set up an entire episode where we have everybody, and we're all just spouting absolute nonsense of theories we've heard. That'll be fun. All right. Yeah, and get off this whole like negativity of how the gaming industry has been for a while. Mm-hmm. Anyway, thank you all for coming and watching. Hope you've enjoyed this last half hour of me and TCP just trying to one up each other on crazy conspiracy theories. But I hope you had a good time. We will catch you next week.